Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Stine and today I'm here with you for another yarn haul video. In fact, I'm here with you for my 7th official yarn haul video from Pleta. So as you can see here, Stenli Yarns sent me some yarns. Well, they didn't send it to me. Well, they did send them to me, but I bought some yarns from Stenli, which they shipped to me, and here we are going to unbox them together. I purchased some YarnArt cakes, and I purchased a range of different Stenli cakes. So this is just one box of cake yarn. And as always, we cannot talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea here, which today is a loose blend tea named YarnArt Trots. YarnArt Trots is a regional tea blend from the region that a local tea store basically makes, and it's really a tea that I do enjoy drinking. It has a flavor of, let's see if I can remember it. So it's a black tea with raisins, pineapple, rose leaves and cornflower leaves, something like that. So it's this, you know, it's both fruity and fresh at the same time. It's an absolutely lovely tea. But we're of course here to talk yarn. And before we start talking yarn, I'm just quickly going to mention this shawl here that I'm wearing today. It is a shawl, or right now I'm using it more as a scarf, which is the very shawl that I made a tutorial for. I actually crocheted this one before I crocheted the one I made the tutorial in. But if you are interested in watching that tutorial, maybe making one for your own, I will link to that tutorial in the description box down below, and I will also link it to it as a link at the end of this video. And if I hold it a bit up like this, you can familiarize it a bit. And you know, the Vary shawl is great because, you know, I made this in a hobby cake, but the size is both good for just covering your shoulders or wearing as a scarf, as I'm doing right now. So and that said, I know there are cakes in here that could probably make some really amazing Vary shawls as well. I love its simple pattern, and you only need to be able to chain, single crochet and double crochet, and I do believe maybe a slip stitch, and then you're good to go. It's super easy. But yeah, I'm going to cut the taping open, and in fact, before I turned on the recording for this video, I did remove some of the plastic that was around this box to make it less noisy for you guys. That said, Stenli is really known for wrapping their yarn up in these plastic bags as well, just like ice, which means that you will likely be hearing some crinkling. I do have the order sheet here. As you can see, there's plenty of this on this order. And it nicely also says what I paid for it and what colorway they are, etc, etc. And what I'm also gonna do is I am gonna do like this to show you how they are layered and stacked in here. And I'm just going to take them one by one, so I may have to go on yarn specs multiple times, but I will try to do it a little bit within reason. It kind of depends also on how they have packed them, right? So let's see, the first I have here is a baby muffin, which I'm gonna take out nicely of its, this is wrapped well. I think it might have been a mistake when they wrapped this one up, but because it has like two knotted parts. So I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to wrap this one back up, but that's okay. I will have a place where I can store it nice and safely, so that will not be an issue. This is the baby muffin in the colorway, let's see, 112. And look at this gorgeous fella. Stenli baby muffin. Do have the center pull tab here on top. So we have blue, green, yellow, I would not say no, it's not orange, it's just because it's yellow and red going into one. And then it has a black outer edge. So blue, green, yellow, red, black. It's pretty much like a rainbow color. And it's 100% acrylic cake. So this 100% acrylic cake is, let's see, 3-stranded cake, if I'm not wrong. It's 3 loose strands that you hold together, just like normal muffin cakes from Stenli. This cake is 250 grams, and that gives you 1160 meters of yarn. So that's basically 8.8 ounces to like 1250-ish yards. Absolutely gorgeous. Feels really, really nice. This somehow feels softer than some of the other baby muffins I've had. But yeah, it's gonna be some colorful project for sure. Then I have, I do not think I have that many of these either. Just give me a moment to make sure. I'm trying to prevent going through the specs too often for you guys. Yeah, no, I only have, I think I only have this one. Yeah, I only have this single one. This one is a merino cake. It's wrapped up in a different way in plastic, so I will definitely probably not be able to put this one back in as it was. Which is, again, also alright. I will have a place to store it. This is taped up pretty well. Hallelujah for taping. I'm definitely not gonna wrap this one back in, but the light today is not good enough for me to actually display this well enough without taking them out of the bag. Oh, this is nice. So this is the Merino Cake 1000. Look at these gorgeous colors. And that's definitely wool. There's wool in this one. We have this mustardy yellow to the orange, to the magenta or fuchsia, to a blue, and I do believe it's and then it goes navy blue. So it is actually lighter blue here before it goes navy blue on the outside. And this is soft. It feels really nice and soft. Looking at this center pull tab, you can see that there are 4 strands here. And let's talk about this lovely Merino 1000 cake. This is 300 grams, so it's heavier than the baby muffin we just had. And for those 300, so 300 grams is like 8.8 plus 10.5 ounces approximately. And they give you 1,000 meters of yarn. 1,000 meters of yarn is about 1,094-ish yards. And it is 50% fine acrylic fibers and 50% Australian baby merino. And you can smell its wool, but it feels really soft. And this, my friends, can make an absolutely gorgeous shawl. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. It is, of course, made in Bulgaria by Statex. It can be washed at 30 degrees, that's 85 Fahrenheit, laid flat to dry, can be dried at, ironed at low. They call for a 2.5 to 4 millimeter crochet hook, and you can dry clean it. Should you choose to use knitting needles, then they say 4 to 5 millimeters. I realize I just forgot to mention the specs for the baby muffin cake, so I will find those here for you. And say that iron at low, 30 degrees can be washed, so that's 85 Fahrenheit. Lay flat to dry, can be dry cleaned. Do not tumble dry, do not bleach. They recommend a 2 to 4 millimeter crochet hook, or if you should knit with it, 3.5 to 4.5 millimeter knitting needles, the baby muffin. Let's see, did I say the colorway of this one? Not sure if I did. 541. I think I need to find it again. Yeah, 541 is the colorway of this one. So we are a little bit in the rainbow spectrum today, I would say. Not intentional, but it seems to be. Then I have a bunch of candy opals. The candy opals is a yarn that I think is gorgeous because it has this shine to it, an opal shine, which is caused by a lurex thread that goes in the cake, or that is in the cake, so to say. And the first I have here is, we are in the rainbow world. This is a more, what would you call it? Not neon, pastel rainbows. So a pastel pink to a pastel purple to a pastel blue to a pastel green, almost yellow, but it is pastel green. These also have center pulls, but it's one stranded, so it's not multiple strands you're holding together here. It's one strand where, as you can see here, when I flip it a little bit, you can see the shine of them. And this shine is the lurex thread that's wound into this or spun into this yarn. So Stenli Candy Opal here is, this is the colorway 85605. So that would be the colorway. It's 85% soft cotton and 15% lurex. And again, lurex is the shiny speckled thing that you can see. And it is indeed like an opal shine color. And no, unfortunately, it doesn't come with the pattern to this. It's just an example. It's a 2-weight fine yarn. This is 300 grams to 900 meters of yarn. So basically, again, we are at 10.5-ish or so ounces. And we have about 900 and maybe 80 yards of absolutely gorgeous yarn. I think it's a gorgeous color. And try imagine, this one is 300 grams. And this one is also 300 grams. This one has 1,000 meters more, but that just says a bit about the condensity of the yarn. And of course, cotton can be a little bit more compact. And it's, yeah, 85% soft cotton, and it does feel pretty soft actually. So I can imagine making shawls, obviously, of these, and I just, you know, these candy opals just look so nice. So I have a bunch of more of the candy opals, so I'm just gonna take out these candy opals one by one, and I'm not gonna go through the specs a third or a fourth and so on time, because candy opals is basically, most of my order, I think, was candy opal. Not really, but I can see I have a few candy opals to go, like a few more. This is not the last one. This candy opal is the colorway 7735, so 7735, and I think this is gorgeous. Here you can easily see how it's having this opal shine to it with this lurex thread that they have woven into it. And this is like a garnet or ruby red, and I think this is an absolutely gorgeous red. I really, really like this one. I do believe that I'd put it in my cart or had put notifications on because it was sold out and I really wanted to get it. And then it finally was there. So one more reason for making an order. So gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I think I might actually have gotten a nice discount as well. I think I did apply a discount voucher if I don't remember wrong. We have one more candy opal cake. So we are definitely in the candy opal world. This candy opal is very matching to being Dutch because it's orange. Look here. So this is like a red ruby outer edge to a peachy center. And it has these orange colors going lighter towards the center. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. Wow. And it's a colorway 7895, should you be interested. Absolutely gorgeous. So that was one more candy opal, and I know I have at least two more. So I'm also, of course, gonna take those out because you can't really, with the plastic, they They wrap them in, which is really nice to protect them against dust and for transportation purposes. But you really can't see the colors very well through the plastic. So that's why I'm taking them out for you, because that really indicates the shine. You can see here it's not the same. You can see just the plastic shines, where when I take this one out of the package, you can see how the yarn shines in a much nicer way. So that's why you have to survive the crinkling a bit, because I really want to unback this like as we go while I record this. So this is a colorway 7875 and it's pink. I have a poncho in mind for this one. And I have another one also here in this Candy Opal in blue. And as said, I do have ponchos in mind for these. When I will make them is another story. But I do have ponchos in mind. I think this is gorgeous. I would probably like start here from the darker end and let it flare out towards the more white. But yeah, so I have some ponchos planned that I really would want to make from these. And that would be more like a children's sized poncho because they aren't that big, or I would need to get an extra cake and shift colors somewhere. But that's not the plan for now. This is a colorway 8205. So 8205, we have a darker blue, and then it goes into a bit more like a teal green, but it is blue. And then it goes in again to a lighter blue, a very light blue. So these are like blue shades. I do admit, I would hope that it would have been more like blue to white shaded like this, where this seems a little bit different on the colors, but I'm not unhappy with it. This feels more compact wound up than this one does. But again, it's a Candy Opal, so except that, not really any crazy. So that was 5 Candy Opals, and I do believe 1, 2, 3, 5. That was all the Candy Opals I'd ordered. So we are keeping it logic so far. Then I have ordered a Candy Star Drops because it's time to restock. Some of my orders is yarn I've had before and I want to restock, and some of them is just new colors. Obviously I have a big stockpile of yarn. Candy Star Drops. Isn't this gorgeous? This lovely, very lovely solid blue to a lighter blue to a lighter blue to white. This is almost like a gray blue, light gray blue to the white. And as you can see, it has these drops. The drops are pieces of lurex thread, which is wound in also or spun into this yarn. So this is also a one-stranded yarn. And then they have lumps, bigger lumps in between. Of course, this is written down in Bulgarian, and I'm trying to remember the exact yarn specs. So I'm actually just finding it here on the website because I don't remember out of my head to make sure that I give you the right specs. It's 75% cotton, it's 15% viscose silk, and it's 10% lurex. And the lurex is, as said, these kind of drops of silver that goes through it. It's at 350 grams, and for those 350 grams you get 900 meters of yarn. So that's let's see, like more like 11 ounces probably, that direction, and like 980-ish yards. So to compare them, for example, with the Opal, this one is 1.75 ounces heavier. That makes sense, it looks heavier, but they have the same yardage or meters. And this one is quite soft, I think. I like it, I definitely like it. Then I have 2 Muffin magic drops. They were put down, bottom down, so I'm just gonna again unpack it nicely. And here we have them. We have a start here. This might look nice on this end. Lovely pink, lovely purple, lovely black. With silver drops. Wow, look at this like here. Definitely, this is magic drops. Muffin magic drops. Wow. I think it's gorgeous. This has a really long colorway. It's one called a 51405703. I think it's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I should stop whispering. I'm just stunned with gorgeous yarn. The Muffin Magic Drops is 80% acrylic and 20% lurex. We have 330 grams here, so it's probably like close to 11 ounces. To 1100 meters of yarn. 1100 meters is 1110 yards, maybe, approximately. Can be ironed at low, wash at 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so 30 degrees Celsius. Lay flat to dry, can be dry clean, do not tumble dry, do not bleach. Iron at low. If you knit with it, they recommend 4.5 to 5.5 millimeters knitting needles, and if you crochet, they say 3 to 5. I think 3 to 5 seems a bit, like 5 seems thick. Like that would be really, really lacy and airy. It's as you can see here, we have 3 threads here. You will have 4 actually. You will have 4 threads of acrylic, and then you will have the thread of lurex, and on the lurex thread you will then have these silver bumps coming in occasionally. So I think it's a gorgeous yarn. I would make some absolutely stunning wear, that's for sure. Then I am restocking this next yarn because I think it's gorgeous, and I just gave one of them away in a giveaway to a happy winner not that long ago. So it's time to restock, and it's this, and it's still the Muffin Magic Drops, so I will not go over the specs. The only thing that's different between these two is that the lurex here is not silver, but it's a blue. Isn't this gorgeous? So this has a light center and goes into out to a brighter blue. I think it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It really is gorgeous. So that was another restock from my end. I need to keep storage stocked. Then I have 4 cakes left, and they are all from YarnArt. So we will also here just take them one at a time, I think. And they are different. They are YarnArt Flowers, and one is a YarnArt Flowers Moonlight. The YarnArt Flowers Moonlight means that it's speckled, like it shines. And you can see it here. It shines with a lovely, gorgeous blue. Wow. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. YarnArt Flowers Moonlight. It is even sparkling here. And here in the purple, they also have the blue sparkles that goes into a more gray, a light purple to a light blue, actually. I would say almost like a steel light blue. To a more like solid blue, and to this navy on here. And it's all this blue sparkles all the way through. It's absolutely gorgeous and will make a killer of a scarf or shawl. Let's talk about the Flowers Moonlight here, the yarn specs. The yarn spec says it's a fine weight yarn. If it's a fine weight or not, I guess that's for arguing. It's definitely a light 2 weight. If it's a 1 weight, it seems a bit on the thinner end of a 2 weight, but I wouldn't say it's as thin as a 1 weight. I might be wrong, of course, it depends. We all measure yarn with a bit differently and have different opinions of this. So it can be washed at 40 degrees, so that's 104 Fahrenheit. It can be dry cleaned, but do not iron it, do not tumble dry it, and do not bleach it. Lay flat to dry. It's 260 grams, so that is 9.15 ounces. And for that you get 1,000 meters of yarn, and 1,000 meters is 1,093 to 94 yards. It contains of 53% cotton, 43% acrylic, and 4% of metallic polyester. So these speckles here is not lurex like they are on the Stenli yarns. They are metallic polyester, and I think it's a gorgeous, right? Try see this shine. This is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And you can't even really compare it to the lurex, to be honest. Like, so that's a shine difference. This is more like, yeah, you can see they shine differently. I think it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, definitely a keeper. Then I have 3 regular cakes of the YarnArt Flowers. And oh, I should actually, before I do that, I should say the colorway of this one is the colorway, sorry about that, somebody is honking the horn on the street. The colorway of this one is 3254. So this is the colorway of the one I have here. Then we are having it about the regular YarnArt Flowers here. And this is this gorgeous fella. I think this is absolutely lovely colors. They are nice and neutral, like gray to nude colors. I think it's a gorgeous cake, this one. And it feels so soft. I think the YarnArt flower cakes, they are really having this nice and soft feeling to them. And I think it's just this acrylic added to the cotton that just does the trick. This is a colorway 297. So here we have the colorway. And it's also possible to wash this one at 40 degrees Celsius in the machine. So it is machine washable to 104 Fahrenheit. It's dry flat and do not bleach. Can be dry cleaned, iron at low. And then they recommend 2.5mm knitting needles or a 3mm crochet hook. They say you need 2 of them to make a medium-sized shirt, sweater. Or one of these would make a good sized shawl. It is 55% cotton and 45% acrylic. It's 250 grams, so that's 8.8 ounces to 1,000 meters of yarn, which is 1,093 yards. And the specs on the 2 other cakes are the same. They are just different colors. And I really like these nude colors. It's like, you know, it's just lovely natural. Like, I'm not sure what to make from it yet, but you know, I love it. Like, I like differences, different cakes, different colors. And then I have just 2 more flower cakes left. They have the same specs, obviously, and they are both similar and yet different. The first one is this one, which you have this gorgeous blue that goes to a white, to a gray, and to a darker gray. The yarn specs is exactly the same as the one we just had, so there's no need for me to go through the yarn specs again. It's the colorway 251. I think it's gorgeous. This is a bit like an amethyst feeling if that one would have been purple. There's like some sort of hidden gem inside a rock feeling to this cake. I think it's gorgeous. Then I have another one which is basically similar, because it's the only difference is it's green instead of blue. So theoretically you could combine these and then, you know, work one from the inside to the outside and then combine that with the outside towards the inside. And then you would still have something absolutely stunning. The colorway of the green one is 291. 291, it's a lot number, so I'm just holding over it so you don't get confused. 291 for this gorgeous one. Wow. That's, yeah, you can see those work those from one end to the other end. If you have any suggestions on if I would want to do that, for what project I should make from it, do let me know. Comments down below. I could also optional, of course, see if I can get some of the flower solids to do with it, if I need to extend some of it. But yeah, I'm still happy to hear what your thoughts would be if I should want to combine those two, working one from the center and the other one from the outside of the skein. Comments down below. Also, if you want to know anything more about these yarns, or if you have any suggestions on what to make from some of them, feel free, again, comments down below. I hope you really enjoyed this yarn talk video, and of course I will link to this virus shawl tutorial up here very soon. Thank you for tuning in and joining me on my Stenli yarn haul video. I will just need to say now, happy crafting, my fellow yarn lovers. Take care until I see you again. Bye.